Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream here on the twitch.tv / the Xisuma playing on Hermitcraft. Doing our thing. Need some food. Need to go trade with some villagers again. Why don't we actually start off by doing that? Don't have my chat on my screen, that's really smart. Chewy Pepper, Hero Blender, welcome to the stream. Gonna be working on Goliath today. That is essentially the plan. And start off by doing some trading. Still got a fair few pumpkins over here. Should really check on this from time to time. I don't know. The minecart's still moving, so it hasn't broken. It's still doing its thing. There's also some around the back here. Yeah, the way I get to that is by breaking blocks on the outside. Let's go have a look. Hello to everyone tuning in. We got Lily Lucid here, resubscribing for 19 months. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the stream today. Oh yeah, just filled up my inventory. That'll do it. Oh yeah, that makes this kind of pointless too. Only 57, dang. Okay, okay. We've got another noise in the air. It's Ishan here with Cheers and Buddies. Hello everyone, Cheerwall. Thank you for the biddies, my dude. Appreciate you supporting me. Lady Kathy, thank you for 7 months of support with the Prime. Hope you enjoyed the stream today. Xisuma, bust into your Hermit Gang rap right now and finish it for the Siles. Oh my god. Lyrical boxing, dropping blows on all my foes in the Chi team, looking unclean, needing some sunscreen, getting hurt by words. This herd of nerds, it's absurd how my rhymes got them injured. Danger, danger. No, that's the best you're gonna get out of me. My memory's shoddy. Shoddy memory. That's the best you're gonna get out of me, my dude. Whereas the arts is close enough, thanks. Yeah, it was close enough. I could walk over that, I could jump it, I could build a bridge. That's not how it goes, but there's something similar to that. Oh wait, is that? That's the little talky bit at the end, isn't it? I can walk over that. Yeah. I'm not sure it goes quite like that, but yeah, that's probably the walky bit at the end. Talky bit. Oh my days, words. Oh, so difficult. Had to do a little bit of recording before today's stream, and I was definitely struggling with my voice a little bit. And I still feel like I haven't fully, you know, got the voice going just yet. Sometimes it's like that, and that's the way it is. Raven Silverwing, thank you so much for 5 months of support. Good evening. Hope you're having a wonderful day and that the stream is good. I hope the stream is good. Thank you for the nice message, my dude. Oh yeah, we should totally be doing these trades. Totally be doing those. Get me some cheap carrots. In between paying for expensive ones. I think that'll do me. Let's restock that first. Then back to the base. Then out to Goliath. I need to pick up some materials for Goliath. We got modifications to make. It broke, by the way. It broke. I've got a story to tell you. It's a live stream exclusive. I didn't really bother to talk about it in my episodes. Just felt like it wasn't going to fit in. Right, so when it comes to another junk chest, some of these items, just going to put away manually quickly. Dude, I can hear those turtles. I'm going to have to get rid of them. They make too much noise. Okay, there we go. Everything's in there, and then it's just carrots and emeralds. Do I have an emerald chest? I do. Right, and then 2 shulker boxes for the project. Okay. Zenith says, hey X, how are you? Why did it break? We'll talk about how it broke. The why of it soon when we get there. Squishy Out says it's more like that's not very secure. I would jump over that. I could use my elytra, something like that. Yeah, it wasn't those exact words, but it was in the same vein. That's not the box that I want. Yeah, that one. Actually, is that regular obsidian? I'll put that in here for now. Been needing a lot of that lately, so I need these crying obsidian blocks and probably way more than that. There you go. There's a stash of it, and there's a bit more. Nice. Yeah, we're going to use crying obsidian to repair this thing. At least that's the plan. Right, I've got a hot decaf here. 6 minutes in, it's going to be piping. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. That's good stuff. The Arctic Viking, the one, the only. 66 months. Hi, X, how you doing? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I've had a little more time on my hands lately to play some games. I've been playing Age of Empires, StarCraft. I was going to play a bit of Parkitect, I think, later today. Or maybe Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Right, we want to go in this direction to Goliath. Over here, of course, is the gold farm. That thing's been doing a great job. Super quick to build. Gives you a decent amount of drops and stuff. That's some good decaf. So, check this out. Let's check out the current state of Goliath. Got a few things to comment on here. So, at the back there, notice how those blocks are not aged and the ones closer are. That's important. Notice that these blocks that I'm talking about are not where they should be. Right? And then next thing that I am super stoked about is this. Full to the brim. That's... Okay, so that one isn't full to the brim. That one's still crafting. Interesting. Now, did this one back up? Right, so why does that do that? Like, if you look at the top, this is locked, yet it keeps... Somehow it gets more items into it. Or maybe we run out of honeycomb? No. I don't know why this happens, but sometimes this side here just backs up crazy. There's no reason it should do that. So this machine could have run for a little bit longer. Now, when you use it, the problem is, like, when I'm in the area now, this stuff is going to age and turn into the fully oxidized stuff. But we don't actually have a lot in here because it all got converted into these 2 levels, which is fine. Because I've got these boxes here. So they need to be turned into waxed blocks. And if you look here, we don't really produce this en masse. We need to like massively increase the amount of bees over here. I'm not even going to get into the numbers. I was thinking at least 10 times the amount of that. That's something else we might do today, okay? So what happened was... one of these got stuck with the block up top. I'm not sure if that's a quirk of... Well, it couldn't be a quirk of timing because this thing's very consistent with timing. So something caused the block to not get pushed down again. Maybe just some weird hiccup. There was a TPS lag spike. I don't know. So one side of the TNT duper got disabled and that caused the machine to sort of back up, and then it ended up pushing up blocks like this, which I want to stop. Why is there one there? Is that just... That's just like an extra one from somewhere. Okay. So that's one thing. The next thing is that all the way at the back here, we're not actually aging these blocks. This is now outside of the aging cycle. I think I want to make the overall loop a little bit slower. I think then it will be better at making sure we have the full amount of these ones over here when we use it. So we're going to be deconstructing part of it, and then we also need to put these blocks, these crying obsidian blocks, in to stop this ever happening. So there's a couple of experiments that I kind of want to conduct. I think the best way to do it is by not tampering with the actual machine. So we'll go ahead and grab ourselves some pistons. And we need some blocks for pushing, don't we? Ye old envelope, thank you for 18 months. Yeah, it feels like it's been ages since I've seen you live. I hope you're well. I'm good, thanks for asking, my dude. Welcome to the stream. Okay, we'll go with some redstone torches here. So if we go plop ourselves down here, well, we're in line with that one. It leaves a gap. Comes all the way across here. Hello, lovely with a bit of Hermitcraft to keep me company while painting. Oh, awesome. That's an awesome hobby. Yeah, so if I go and like attach one more, I don't want to connect to that bit of redstone there. It can push that far. You see, that's one block too far for us, right? Oh, no, that's actually... Okay, I've made a mistake. That's into the chamber. That'll... Yeah, okay. Interesting. So the push limit there is correct. This can't accidentally push further in that direction. But it can upwards. And I think I'm missing the point. I'm testing the wrong thing. I've looked at it the wrong way around first. Should have looked at it for a minute longer. Because, well, you know what? It's good to double check that, right? But anyway, it's the upwards bit. You can clearly see it here. So we need something that stops it from going up there. Now, in the event of it breaking again, I think this just means this doesn't happen. I'm not sure that it will self-correct, if that makes sense. Like, it might be possible for us to add a broken detection system, so these things can double fire if something backs up. But I think if it backs up, we've got bigger problems. So we just want to make it so we don't have to come here and do this again, essentially. That is the goal. Lucaro says, it looks like the problem was the downwards facing pistons, not the upwards ones, no. When I looked at it, it was the upwards ones, but I've come over here and mined blocks out because I wanted to keep using the machine, yeah? So this happened a long time ago. This didn't happen recently. It happened a while ago, so it got a lot of use. Then that thing up there just one day was like, nope. Then it got a lot of use again. So, yeah. I also think this means we're going to take out the glowstone and replace it with crying obsidian because that also emits light. But we also now have slabs everywhere, right? Hello. It's this brand new guy playing on here. Who's that Iskal? Right, let's go up here. Oh, Windows update. There was one. For me, anyway. What are you trying to make, says future Acarista. We're not trying to make anything. We're fixing an existing contraption. Oh man, this is some good decaf. Tid Mouth Milk 12 is here for 13 months. Been a super long time since I tuned into a stream. Just felt like a good time to tune in whilst I'm building on my other screen. Awesome, man. Thanks for tuning in. I think I'm going to go on a bit of a... Ah, that's weird. I think I'm going to go on a bit of a building arc, because my build that I'm yet to put in my Hermitcraft episode has me really inspired to now try and start building to the end product with the mind's eye and survival. I think I probably got a little bit of learning to do and a bit more prep, but when you see the next episode of Hermitcraft, I think you're really going to like the building stuff we get up to. I'm kind of tempted to put some stairs here now, so that you can at least walk over it when you're doing maintenance, right? I've only got one block, though. We're going to mine a lot more in a... Oh, wait. Speaking of which, I've already mined it. Total brain fart. You expect nothing less, do you? Nothing less. Future asks, can you join the server? Unfortunately, this is not an open public server. But we do have a communal server known as the Let's Play Minecraft Together server. Which is for tier 3 subscriptions, Patreons, and people who sign up using our... I don't know what you would call it. Portal on my website. So if you want a community to play with, you can go to xisumavoid.com/getwhitelisted if you're interested. There's tour videos on my second channel as well, Xisuma 2, on YouTube if you want to see what the server's all about. I just realised this isn't waxed, but then I'm like, okay, that's actually fine. That's actually fine. Lucaro says, although now I think about it, is placing the obsidian just fighting the symptoms, not the illness? Would it ever happen again? It's me making sure the damage is limited, right? It's not really a symptoms illness thing. It's me going, right, I'm going to put in this obsidian so that this won't happen again, right? Like, I'm not addressing what caused it to break. It's such an odd and rare thing that I imagine if it breaks again... Like, let me explain. This thing gets pushed up and then it gets pushed down again. For some reason, it stayed in the up position. That doesn't really make sense because the circuit, in theory, should run through and do what it does predictably every other time it's done it. I mean, this thing has been running for hours. So for every 12 blocks that come out of this farm, this thing has reliably activated. So we're talking about tens of thousands of activations, possibly. I mean, maybe not that much, but I wouldn't be surprised if the number was 10,000. And one time, it was just like, and did something different. I'm going to put it down to like a TPS lag spike or something like that. Now, if I wanted to prevent that from happening again, I am going to have to create some sort of like redundancy checking system where it's able to detect when that behavior has erroneously occurred. And chances are, if something can affect redstone like that, it might also affect that redundancy system. So it's probably not going to be worth doing. But what we can do is just make sure the system is more robust to handle errors when they occur. You're speaking an ancient language to me, X, but at least it's you, says Blue Starling. I'm speaking an ancient language? TPS lag spikes? Okay, ticks per second. The game has to decide what happens in the world. The underlying code has to make things happen, right? This redstone turns on, this redstone turns off. That cow wanders over there, this cow wanders over there. That happens on a system called ticks, and it happens 20 times per second. And so, if the game is overwhelmed, if it's not performing or has too much work to do, then your TPS can lower and it can start to lag and cause issues. And my assumption is that that very odd bit of redstone not behaving as it should is probably down to the server being overwhelmed at some point and it just not updating it because the TPS was slowing down. AJC says, still don't know. I don't know how I could explain it better unless you tell me what exactly it is you don't know. That makes sense, the sound wave. Vogel says, now I'm following. Okay, there we go. We've made some progress. So yeah, the underlying performance of the game, I believe, is the cause of that issue. So building in a system to protect you from that is probably going to suffer the same problem. So if, like, you have a TPS lag issue and your redstone goofs up, well, your redstone's goofing up, so it's probably unavoidable, I guess. No haste to Goliath. Oh, thanks for reminding me. I guess I don't... you know what? Let's go take care of it. I'm not too bothered about just mining a few blocks and not having haste. But because we got to do lots of repairs and upgrades and stuff, we should probably activate both of those for now. And I'll leave an extra ingot in my inventory to hopefully remind me to change this one back. I leave it on resistance and regeneration just in case something happens. By the way, a project I might do over here is build a squid farm. Because, like, the way I've laid out these blocks is just so if I want to build a squid farm, look, there they are. I can put one down over here. I also, Nostro, if you're thinking that I still need haste to use the farm... Oh, this one was still set to haste. Then you might have missed out on some important developments. This is no longer a player mining blocks operation over here. This is a fully automated business. I say fully, I still have to place the blocks. How much light does crying obsidian give off? I think it's like 4. Well, probably a little bit higher than that. It's a low light level. And we don't actually need the light level anymore. Well, actually, do we? No, we don't, because I added slabs, that's why. I added slabs, and, you know, maybe they can spawn on piston heads, and this is directly above it, so... We good. We good. If you have a squid farm, you can also play Squid Game. What's that? What's the Squid Game? Apparently it's 9 or 10. Interesting. The light level of the Crying Obsidian. AJ says, my brother is listening to and explained it to me. Cool, cool. Normal obsidian would be spawnable. Depends on the light level, right? Crying obsidian just... I have more of it, it gives off light, and it acts like obsidian. So if I were putting obsidian here, yeah, I'd probably keep the glowstone or some sort of light source, right? But the slabs that we added, they mean that's not required. Dude, I love this music. I haven't listened to Jalur in a long time. Kind of deliberately. Like, when you listen to the same music over and over again, the magic can get tainted a little. And Jalur's always just been fantastic, and then I sort of deliberately not listened to it for a while. It still sounds amazing. What's the function of Goliath, says Ali? It is to automatically age and mine, without player intervention, copper blocks. So we provide it with tons of this stuff, and it automatically waxes them and fills up these bits right here, which we were checking for excess amounts earlier. The excess amounts, they need to go back into here for placement. I really want to place some of these before more of it starts aging, but now that that's full, like, I do actually need this stuff to oxidize, so I guess the timing works out. Now, didn't I head back for a different reason? Oh yeah, I remember. Just to get more of these. Let's drink some more of this. Squid Game was a show. A group of people have to compete again. I know what the Squid Games is. What does that have to do with a squid farm? It's good. It's good. Add a comparator to indicate there's excess. A comparator wouldn't do that because these blocks do not have an inventory. Oh wait, are you referring to something down there? That's already, all of that stuff's down there is already hooked up with all the logic it needs. Y'all need to flesh out some of these messages a little bit more. Because now I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Because the whole system is designed to stop once we reach the required amount, which is why I was saying, oh, actually, it's okay to get more oxidized stuff because I've reached my quota of the weathered and exposed. Nothing, it was a joke. It was a poor joke. What was? The comparator? I'm gonna start. I should just start saying it more. I should start being really non-specific, and that will give you an idea of what it's like to read chat sometimes. Oh boy. Luke Rose says, "Oh X, oh X, you can't magically read our minds when we say it." Oh dear. Wait, how do you auto mine copper in vanilla? TNT duper. Yeah, you don't have to use a duper. But for this one right here, you are asking for a lot of resources for the amount of copper, right? Like, when it comes to TNT duping, I use it. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, I kind of wish they would address it and do something about it. There are times like this when TNT duping is really the only way I would do it. And there are other times, like some of the tree farms that I've built and stuff, where it's like, you know what I would pay for the TNT here? So if they removed it from the game, some stuff would be like, okay, that's fine. Other stuff, it would be like, well, that's not really that feasible anymore. This is why I've said it in the past. I don't think it's the best idea, but I think it's like a good point for starting a conversation, which is, what if you had a like movable blast block that you could attach to flying machines, and you just had to feed it gunpowder, and it would create TNT explosions from that, you know. Greasy the Goblin, here with some cheers and some biddies. Thank you for your generosity, my dude. Good morning, X. Greeting from your somewhat friendly neighborhood goblin. Oh, goblin. You're a greasy goblin. That's somewhat ambiguous. Oh, let's see. That might actually be as far as I want to go. So I was thinking about taking off reducing this thing from 15 to 5. So this doesn't get aged, right? Because it's too far away. We need to use a mini HUD here. Actually, let's go to where we stand to use the whole thing, just to be on good thing. Let's go. Greasy, thank you for your cheers and bits, by the way. In case I didn't say it. Getting distracted here, you know. Make sand renewable via husks and add dispenser minecarts, problem solved. Maybe. I guess it you know, you're stacking farms then, aren't you? Like, I kind of like the idea of just using gunpowder because it's like one less farm to stack. Okay, so hotkeys, mini HUDs. Which one do we want? Ticks. Then free cam. The cutoff point is there. When we're... Oh, look at that. It kind of goes into this one. So... Oh, interesting. But not the side. Can sort of almost see it here. Look. That's way more oxidized. This bit over here isn't. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I did say 5. I think based on that border there, which... that aligns with a chunk border. I think that's our cutoff point. So we're going to go back from where we've placed down some obsidian, and that's going to be our last module. Okay, let's go ahead and remove that. And this. There we go. And then bring back my stream buttons, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Using the crying obsidian as a guide doesn't count, says Blackjack. Why doesn't it count? Why would that not count? Like, if I go back by 1, I'm precisely where I need to be. Hang on. I don't know what you're saying. But that's our chunk border right there, so... yeah, we're going back by 1 from here. Well, I'm glad we got the haste beacon sorted out. I feel like Mojang wouldn't address TNT dupers unless a renewable farm is made. Although I assume they're hesitant to make TNT renewable due to easier griefing. Yes, that's another good point. Like, you can already make flying machines that will just flood tons and tons of space. Like, you can go up into the sky, build a flying machine, and it will just continuously fly and flood everything, right? That's not particularly great. But it's doable. And how do you address that? And I think, you know, you're sort of opening a similar can of worms if you decide to add some form of, like, TNT blaster. Right, I don't know what the best way to mine all of this is. I think I might do a little replay mod over here. Little replay mod action, just showing the whole thing getting mined. Maybe. We need to look at what's going on at the end here. We have just the bottom bit and not the upwards bit. That's fine. That's also the push limit, so we don't need crying obsidian behind it. Won't make griefing easier. Griefing is already incredibly easy, as it won't really change that, says Crafty Masterman. I think you have to think about in terms of accessibility. Like, not all players have the same skill set. So, if you add a movable TNT blasting block, it's probably going to make it easier for the average player to use that to grief. Like, setting up flying machines with TNT dupers attached is not something the average player can just intuitively do. But giving them a tool to do something similar to that, like a new block that gets them halfway there, that's the problem. Because then they can start to do some stuff with that block. Okay, I think these blocks... Wait, they got redstone on them, right? Yeah, that's all coming away. How's my inventory looking? It's not disgusting. Why are you getting rid of stuff? I zoned out, says Blue Starling. Should have been paying attention. I'm not repeating the essay on why we're removing it, okay? It took me a long time to write it. It took me even longer to read that essay out. I'm not reading it again, okay? Let's see. So when we come up here, it's different. I kind of expected it to be, oh, I guess because we can't detect from there, right? We detect from the front. So that's why it's like that. And then that row of redstone. So we have that row of redstone above us, wherever we are. So we need to bring one block across to the front and put an observer next to it. No, below it. One block across, observer below. As much as I try, even when I'm not multitasking and live streaming, I really do struggle to, like, keep an image in my head sometimes. So, like, by the time I'm up here in the right spot figuring this out, I kind of lost track, actually. Here, that's where I am, isn't it? That should be right on a chunk border. Okay, so I'm in the wrong spot. That's fine. So it means this one here needs one across, and then it needs an observer. And then by the time that observer's in place, I ain't going to have a clue what's next. I think I want to go one block closer. Actually, isn't this... This is going to be this way around. So I need a block here. Well, isn't this fantastic? Can I use that edge? Ha! I can use that edge to place it in the gap. That's what we want. Except... Wait a minute. Okay. Right, it's a row of pistons. Okay. Now, the observer is not in the same place. The observer is actually one block down. Okay, well, we're getting there. We're getting there. If you can see what I can see, good for you. Because I'm not going to explain it too much. I'm just going to build it. You can kind of see the problem now. As I rip out the ones that push down, because we don't need them here, you can see we've got a row that push across. I would say the barrier to make a flying machine is already hard enough, says Blackjack. Yeah, that's kind of the point I was making, right? Like, yes, you can do tons of crazy destructive stuff already, but it's the barrier to entry that's the thing that makes it not that big of a deal, right? If making... Like, imagine if you could just... Like, imagine there was a block that you could craft with sticks, right? Thor sticks. Not even that, just oak wood, okay? Imagine you could just put oak wood here, and then the block that you got was nuke, right? You put it down and it blows up, you know, 10,000 blocks in all direction, right? If they added that into the game, the quality of the game would go down massively, because you know people are going to use that. It'd be easy to say kids, right? But adults will do it too. Okay, just some people will press that button, you know? So that's the problem. It's the accessibility of it, okay? So by adding a block that is like a dispenser that you can move and it keeps its contents and it can create explosions, you are making it easier to grief. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So anyway, right, we have to have a redstone block below where we are that goes... Yeah, I need scaffolding, I need a redstone block, I need a repeater. This is all stuff that I don't have with me. But we can grab it like a rabbit. Where's this thing? Right. Gonna start putting some of these random copper blocks we're picking up in here. Probably some of the obsidian can go in there too, actually. Right, we needed that. And we needed that. Then I need to figure out where on earth I am. I think I'm here. I think I'm here. Humble Zebra says, yeah, I would use that. An honest person. I just don't get Doc and Psycraft and such against you on a faction server, says Creeper Hunter. I don't know what you meant by that sentence. This isn't a faction server. I don't get what's against. I don't know what you just said. Am I in the right spot? No, I'm one behind it, right? Jeez, the amount of times I've gotten disoriented today. Dead Sub, welcome to the stream. It's much easier than the nuke from Draconic Evolution. I'm not surprised. Okay. Now we're in the right spot. And here is where we're building stuff. So those blocks are going to get pushed through unless I do something about it. I think I'm just going to let them get pushed through, you know. And I'll take that one, put it there. Okay, that is, I believe, correct. I would be wise to get rid of this straight away. And that means getting rid of everything else around there as well, actually. So it's time to go into destruction mode, basically. I'm going to fire up the camera account. Let's get the replay mod up on here. Bear with me, peeps. Can you recommend me a mod pack with Draconic Evolution, says Nikki. No, I can't. I don't really play mod packs. Why not mine most of it with some TNT, says Blackjack. I don't have any. Be a good answer, I think. I haven't made any TNT. I don't have a lot of sand either. I just want to mine it and get it done. Plus, isn't copper's pretty TNT resilient? Like, you'd need stacks and stacks. You know, the whole like, why don't you just use TNT for mining, for this thing, for that thing? A lot of the time, it takes a lot more work to work with TNT than you might think. You don't strictly need a movable way to spawn TNT. One could place TNT minecarts and move them, or use a TNT cannon. That's true, actually. The TNT cannon stuff is pretty impressive. I haven't had enough experience to just give it a go. Right, anyway, let's relog with the camera account. Let's log back in. I'm gonna switch to sitting for a little bit. And then we'll crack on. No, desk, no! It's going up! I said down! Oh, the wiring in this thing is dodgy, I swear. Okay. Let's make sure we're set up nice. There we go, should be good. Should be good. Right, it's official, we're time-lapsing. Oh, and some crying obsidian can go here. Ferg, you finally made it to a stream. Well, congratulations and welcome. As below, so above. I think we probably do need that. We might not. It depends on how it's been set up, but I'm putting it there anyway. And this is my fate now. We have to mine. Nice dramatic music. Yeah, it's not particularly fitting, but it's good music. I'm having a good day so far, I am. Oh, I accidentally mined those. That's what you get for looking at chat. Start mining blocks by mistake. Lucro says wouldn't have to be below now. No, the pistons push up. So it'll be above them. Just arrived. What doing? Says Jewel Palm. We are upgrading Goliath, fixing Goliath, and reducing the size of Goliath. All of those things. This would be the perfect moment for the work song by Jono. I don't know what that is. Rebuilding. Kinda. Like, we're not building it again. We're just taking what's already here, reducing the size of it, and in some spots making some tweaks and changes. Less Goliath. Yeah, it's less Goliath. That's what it is. Song Jono made for Grian, it's a banger. Alright, okay. X, are you following Euro 2024? Good luck in the finals tomorrow. Too bad you beat us in the semis. Yeah, I'm following it. I watched every game early on. It was quite boring. The last game was pretty entertaining, but the one before it was a bit iff. But, you know, now we're in the final. I don't know. It's nice to see us progress through a tournament. When I was a kid, that didn't ever happen. We'd always go out the round after the group stages. And then since we've had Gareth Southgate, things are kind of turned around a bit. Level 1146 is insane, says Let Mattium. Oh my god, think of all the things I could do. I could rename 1,146 different things. Oh my god. Oh, insane. Insane. Oh, what else could I do? Oh, I could enchant something. It'd be like I had 30 levels, except I just have more. Oh my god, think of all the things we can do, peeps. Think of all the things we can do. Is it insane in the membrane? Gone insane like Kurt Cobain? It's insane in the membrane. Hey, I've been listening to that new Eminem record. You know, I only listened to it a couple of times, but I kind of think it's like actually like pretty decent in places. Was I really going to take this all down without haste? I think I would have noticed at some point. Like, once I got to the part where it's like, oh, I'm taking this down, then I probably would have noticed. It's very funny, says Red Eye. It has its funny moments. That Eminem's humor, though, to me is a little juvenile, which, oh, by the way, he makes an amazing, like he takes Juvenile's ha and, like, throws it like a little, what do they call it, interpolation or something? Like, into his track. That was kind of pretty sick. But yeah, I don't know, like some things have made me like laugh a lot recently. I'm just trying to remember what it was. Oh, Rick and Morty. Yeah, I've been watching Rick and Morty. There's a new season of that, and that's got some jokes in it that really crack me up. They tend to be like the more subtle things as well that amuse me. When they just drop something in that's like kind of sly and you have to think past the dialogue a little, and then it's like, oh, I see. Det Sub says, I heard it's a conceptual album. I wouldn't say conceptual by Eminem standards. Like, it is him addressing his persona Slim Shady through the lens of today and like re-exploring the sounds of Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers LP, and Encore. And doing it pretty well. There's some moments where he genuinely sounds like he did 20 years ago, both like flow and tone of voice, which was really quite striking because he's had this like distinct way of rapping for a long time that isn't quite like those first few records and stuff. And I've never been that big on it. And I kind of miss the old flows, and he brings them back like really well on this one, which is interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Like, didn't know that was on the cards. Schmile says masterpiece. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, but you know, I've only listened to it twice. Been re-listening to the original Steve Miller Band. Oh right. Oh, Abracadabra. So that's who done that song, right? I've never really gotten around to listen to Steve Miller. I've always had this feeling like, yeah, I might enjoy that. Need to give that a go at some time. Didn't Eminem confirm it's a conceptual album? I mean, if he's calling it conceptual, then it's conceptual to him. But just in like the history of conceptual albums and music in general, it just wouldn't strike me as that, because it's so like Eminem just doing his usual thing, like addressing his controversies, his different characters. Like, it's kind of like what he's always done, and I wouldn't have thought those previous albums were conceptual. But who knows, you know, maybe he's coming at it from some sort of angle that means it is that way. Yeah, fair. It's each their own interpretation, says Creeper. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with art, is it's all subjective. So if it doesn't sound conceptual to me, it just doesn't sound conceptual to me. not like I'm saying, oh, and therefore I'm right. No, I mean, it just doesn't. That's just not how it sounds to me. He sampled that song for Houdini, says Jewel Palmy. Yeah, Eminem, I was thinking about it earlier, like, I love hip-hop and I love the sampling aspect of it, but like, old school early hip-hop, the samples are more, they're more, you know, samples like aesthetics, grooves, beats, instruments, like to use to build your track. And then I think in the 90s you start to get, like, Puff Daddy did a lot of this, but like taking some sort of like 70s R&B disco funk music or whatever, and like basically rapping over the track, right? And really just sort of like lifting the whole track and just putting rap on it. And then you know, I'm not sure if anyone else kind of did this, but definitely with Eminem, it became more like you're taking the hook of the song and you're rebuilding it with like a new hook. because like a lot of his really big songs from around Encore have these, you know, roots from other big songs where he's sort of taken the hook and then built the track around that, but like recreating the hook at the same time. Yeah, we're all pitching in, getting some resources for beef. And I was really busy at the time, so I was like, I'll get back to that later. And then I had like no idea what I needed doing, so I was like, I think it'll be good. But I got a bunch of resources like to chip in. Map making, yes, yeah. Like beef's very busy at the moment, so some of us can help out. And you know, we've got all these farms and yada yada yada, and it's like, it's easy for us just to pop on, do a little bit of this and that, and then he's got what he needs. Have you heard of Sleep Token X? They have some heavier stuff, but they're also really good at incorporating R&B hip-hop elements into their songs. I didn't hear any hip-hop in them, but I've only listened to like the one record. What I heard was just a lot of like contemporary pop. Maybe the more softer side of that, the more melodic side of it, but that was the bit that I thought was interesting about their music. All the heavy stuff was kind of boring. I think metal's in a bit of a rut where everyone's just doing this like post Meshuggah, post Linkin Park thing, and it's kind of played out. Let's grab that. These days, people sample so heavily that it really feels more like plagiarism than paying homage or whatever, says the Greasy Goblin. I don't really know how you can come to that conclusion, because it's always been done in different degrees. Like right from the beginning, there was controversy around sampling. Like with the Beastie Boys. If you've ever listened to Paul's Boutique, that is like a constant stream of like beat lifting. Metal's been in a rut for some time, says Automatus. Yeah, for me, metal was exciting when I was young. But then I think like this might just be, this is what everyone's experience is going to be, right? Like you're new to something when you're young because you're young. And then you get older and you start noticing the same patterns over and over again. But when I was young, like the thing that was exciting was watching the deathcore scene unravel. And I'm not really in defense of that music if you don't like it. In fact, I barely listen to any of it anymore. But it was really fun to see all these bands emerge. But they were all playing this like race to the bottom game of like who can tune their guitars the lowest, who can slow their breakdowns and do filthy, disgusting screams. And now when I listen to like stuff like Slaughter to Prevail or Humanity's Last Breath, it's all just like, yeah, this is like, we heard this 15 years ago and you're still at the bottom of that barrel trying to like find a new low to hit. It's just, once you get the idea and the idea doesn't evolve, it just becomes boring. I don't want to get this wrong. We've still got a couple more bits to scrape out here. I am shrinking Goliath. You are very observant, yeah. A shrinking Goliath. I never knew until like a couple of years ago that the melody of You Can't Touch This was sampled from another song. Yeah, is that Superfly by Rick James? Vanilla Ice is Queen. I think it's a beautiful thing, like reusing music. I got no problem with it, and one of the things that I love is digging into samples, right? Going down the rabbit hole of finding out like what some of your favorite hip-hop tracks are built on top of. You know, like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, all of those songs that they did were like George Clinton and whatnot, and some of the stuff he did with Tupac, California Love. Like, it's all built off of these songs from like the 70s that they grew up on, and they just like reinvented them for their generation. I think it's awesome. Because like, not only can you enjoy that, you can go back and hear what inspired it and enjoy that too. Vanilla Ice didn't sample though, he straight ripped it. That's why he got sued, rightfully too. I don't think it makes much sense to say like ripped or sampled, because samples sometimes get used without any manipulation, and sometimes they get a little bit of manipulation. Sometimes, you know, artists will select, let's say, like a quieter part, or like a bit of the song where there's no singing, or they took out the bass for this bridge or something. Like, you take less crowded samples where they're available to then mix with another one. Like, let's say you got a song that's got like a drum beat for the intro. You might take the drum beat but not the rest of the song, right? So like saying he straight ripped it, I mean, I think if you don't like Vanilla Ice, maybe it's just better to say you don't like Vanilla Ice than try and equate to using the sampling as some wrongdoing, because everyone was doing that. And yeah, it's, you know, it's just the way it's done. Like, you can grab someone else's music and kind of find a way to turn it into your own. I've done it myself. I've got loads of hip-hop beats that I've made on my computer just for the fun of it, you know. I just like love listening to music, and then every now and then I'll hear a moment where it's like, oh, that sounds like it could, you know, I could put that into something, and it's a lot of fun to do. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, it was around the time when sampling became like this controversy because there was no legislation around it, and then a lot of artists got pulled in, and some of them got punished for it, and then the rules and the laws around it had to change. I think Vanilla Ice was just around at the time where that was happening, so he got sued. Legolas Lobster, thank you so much for 9 months with the Prime subscription. Thank you for supporting the channel, my dude. Hope you enjoy the stream, the discussion today. I miss the bands like Pantera and bands like that, which were very popular in the 90s and noughties, says Matthias. Me too, but like, if a band came out sounding like Pantera today, it would, you know, it wouldn't be new or fresh or innovative, right? Like, you know. Eminem shouldn't have gotten political in his music. It feels like nowadays everyone like Eminem gets way political, says Siren Streams. I disagree with that. I think we shouldn't be saying who can get involved or can't get involved in politics. I mean, it's usually said when you disagree, right? Like, if Eminem comes out waving a rainbow flag, you might be like, oh, I love Eminem, he should be allowed to talk in politics. Like, well, you know, people usually say that when they disagree with someone's politics. I think part of living in a democratic society and having freedom means that you have to put up with the fact that people around you will say things you don't agree with. And so, like, in music, in art, if people want to express themselves, it's about them being able to express themselves. Doesn't mean that they're right. It's, I think it's important not to, like, silence people, I guess. So, you don't have to agree with him, but he should be able to get political if he wants to. And like I said, you don't have to agree with his politics, but, you know, okay, let's say he's not allowed to get political. Well, who defines that? Once you're saying who can and can't, it's, you know, whoever's in power gets to decide that, and that's dangerous. Especially hip-hop has always been political. Very good point. Like, incredibly political genre of music as well. Like with Public Enemy. Probably not the first, but, you know, one of the first big names to really add that into hip-hop. Killing in the Name of, yeah, Rage Against the Machine. Music in general has always been political, says Greasy the Goblin. Yeah, you know, whenever you make a statement, like a big bold statement about something, if you just take a moment to, like, think through a little bit, like what the counterexamples are, there's usually always counterexamples. A lot of art is political, yes it is. Darth Snarf says, people who complain about politics in music are just upset it's not their politics in the music. Yeah, that's generally the perception that I pick up on, right? I don't know for sure, but it kind of seems like that. Just rejoin the stream, what's the problem with Goliath? It doesn't really have a problem, it actually works fine. We're just adding in some redundancies for an issue. With what I don't think is with the contraption, I just think it's a unavoidable Minecraft issue with it not performing as it should. But yeah, we're out here just reshaping it, like reducing the size of it a little bit, because I think it's unnecessarily large. It goes outside of the updated range for ticks, right? And it feels to me, now that I've done quite a few loop cycles of it, that it should probably be smaller so that you get better results. And you can use it to get all the different blocks with less copper. Because I have to do some really big farming sessions to get enough copper. Like, I need at least 2 to 3 shulker boxes worth, right? So that's like a big overnight session. Occasionally, it's also just people that don't like politics at all, since it's just a mess in their country, says June, pardon me. Politics is always a mess. One thing that never changes is that we're always living in the most worst divided times, and yada yada yada, and it's never been this bad. I don't feel that way, really. I just think, you know, if you watch enough history and documentaries, you'll notice that some things seem to repeat, and this sense of doom just seems to always be present. We always just think, oh, it's the worst time, and yeah, like, is it? Because it seems it's always been terrible, apparently. Yeah, here we all are. Like, we are always going to be in a constant state of, like, turmoil. There's no equilibrium. It's unavoidable. It's just the way things seem to be. Like, we can't actually have a utopia, I don't think. If we can, we're a long way off of it. Anyway, didn't we weren't we talking about music? Politics is not a mess, it means it's not a democracy. I thought you were going in a different direction with that. I thought it was like, if it seems like a mess, then it probably is democracy, right? Like, if everyone agrees, then it's probably not a democracy. You're probably living in something far worse, if no one can have a dissenting opinion. Head PE is political, and I love it. They're like a new metal band that I never got into at the time. I'm aware of them, though. To get away from politics for a minute, do you have any bands that just seem super weird at first but lately grew on you? For me, it was Avatar and Baby Metal. I recall not getting Baby Metal straight away, but I absolutely love them. And yeah, plenty, honestly. And some bands that I didn't like for you, like Tool, for example. I don't know why, but my friendship group sort of decided that Tool sucked, and I never questioned it, and so I think without ever really properly sitting down and listening to them, they were just some band that sucked in my mind. And then, fortunately, like a few years back, I kind of reassessed that and went, wait a minute, why did I decide that I didn't like this band? Because I don't know any of their songs. This doesn't make any sense. So I started listening to them, and I'm like, oh my god, they're genius, you know? They're actually genius. Love Baby Metal's new song with Eclectic Caliboy. Yeah, that was a cool song. That was definitely a cool song. The Lemon Cat, if you want to know my thoughts on Ghost, you can go read my music blog. You know, if you're gonna ask, like, what do you think about this band, it's like, I've probably written about them. It's taken me a while to get into Diantwood. Oh, I love them. They're awesome. And I sort of got to see them. Oh, what happens? They were at, like, Download Festival, and I think some other band, I think it might have been like this band called Barascufa or something. They do this, like, oh, what's the era of time? They do black metal, like, themed from a particular era in history. I think it's like part of Russian history when Christianity arrived in Russia or something like that. Like, they make the sound of their music from that era, and I was really torn. So I decided, right, I'll go watch the black metal band, whose name I can't say, and I'll watch half of that, and then I'll get out and I'll watch half of Diantwood. Well, they didn't come on stage straight away. They were like faffing around. And by the time they came out, I realized that Diantwood were going to wrap up soon. So I watched a little bit of them. And then I tried to like rush off and watch a bit of Diantwood and like caught the last 1 or 2 songs from a distance. It was like really disappointing. I didn't really get to see much of either of them. Now, who in chat's going to tell me the name of that band? Because there's always someone, right? There's always someone who knows what band it is I'm talking about. They were big in like 2015. I don't think they're really a big deal anymore. They also split into 2 bands with the same name due to like disagreements and stuff. If that's the same download a few years ago. I mean, I haven't been since I think 2019, so it would have been that or before. I said it out loud. Yeah, it's like it begins with B, B-A-R, like Barathuskia or something. But now I'm wondering if I'm like swapping some letters around in my memory of it. Oh look, I missed out a whole row up there. Why are we destroying the farm? We're downsizing it to make it better. Not Barracuda. I think the name of one, that's it. Bat-ufka hamfish. I think you've written it correctly there, and I've just put an R in instead of a T. Bat-ufka, yeah. I think one of their albums was called Liturgy or something like that. Anyway, they were kind of like a big deal in the underground scene when they were about, but since then I'm pretty sure they're, you know, the excitement around them has probably fizzled out a bit. Should you name it Goliath? That honestly, that's kind of funny. If I just like took off the TH and called it Goliath. How do you feel when a band has important members leave, like the singer of Nightwish changing? Really, I think like when band members change, especially significant ones, you got to remember that like you're on the outside looking in, and you don't know what it's like to be a part of that band. You don't know what things have been said, agreements between people or whatever. Like Napalm Death, for example, have no original members left yet. Like, the band that they are just incredibly awesome. So it's always just one of those things where, like, at the end of the day, you're an observer looking in, and every kind of like band replacement, you know, has its own kind of story and flavor to it. Sometimes things change for the better, and sometimes there are animosities, but you're just always someone on the outside, right? Like, some people online, I remember like reading this stuff when I was young, was saying that like the real Metallica was the lineup with Dave Mustaine and Ron McGovney. And I couldn't get my head around it because I wasn't even aware of that, like, when I first started listening to them. It was like, no. It's like Cliff Burton and... Why was I going to say Kurt Douglas? Jesus Christ. Brain. Kurt Hammett. But then, like, I like Jason Newsted as well. I like Rob. I think all the bassists they've had have been great and fit in well. Whereas some people like get really uppity about that. And then there's been other bands where it's like really key figures, like a singer has changed, you know, and it can like end the band. And sometimes, you know, that iconic singer leaves and they find someone different and go forward with it. An interesting one is Alice in Chains, right? Like, their lead singer died. He had an incredibly unique voice. And then they found someone who could sing like him and got going again. And like, they started writing really good music again. And it's kind of like a before and after with them. Like, there's the period with and the period with the new person, but like both are really great and similar. So like each story is unique, isn't it? Each story is just a little bit different. As for Nightwish, I couldn't comment because I don't listen to them, so I wouldn't really know. Bat-ushka translates to English as Holy Father, by the way. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me that it does, because a lot of the theming in their music was around, like, religiosity. Specifically, again, like this era of history. It has a name, and for some reason it won't come to me right now. But I think it's around the time that Christianity made its way to Russia. There's like a period in time, an era, and it's got a name. And someone in chat is usually always answering these questions for me, but not today. No one's here to fill in the gaps. Dang, I'm on my own. I'm on my own today. Black Sabbath is like that? I don't know. I never listened to Black Sabbath without Ozzy. So I couldn't really... Isn't Heaven and Hell also Black Sabbath without Ozzy? Byzantine, that's the one, yeah. Or Byzantine. The Byzantine Empire. That's what they theme their music around. That era. Jurassic. No, you've gone too far back now. I don't think Christianity was knocking about in the Jurassic period. Era. I don't think it had been invented then, you know. That was a long, long time ago. Russian liturgical music. That's the other word that they use. Yeah, that you're right on it now. Well, we don't know about dinosaurs' religion. That's true. That's true. There might have been big dino religions. Who knows? We don't. Right, I think I'm going to craft up another shulker box. Seems like it's a good time to do that. Ugh. Right, I need a crafting bench. Dude, hang on. This don't make any sense. There should be an order to these things, right. And shouldn't I put down the ones that I've already got? Yeah, probably a good idea. Ah, there they are. Right, then it's back to bizzleness, isn't it? That is a lot of blocks. Yeah! Landed perfectly. Was that the start of the Orthodox Church in Russia? Yes. All these words, Orthodox, liturgical. Oh God, I've already forgotten them, haven't I? What was the other one? But yeah, no, that's the period of time they like themed their music around. It's really good. I absolutely loved it. Liturgical Byzantine. That's the one I immediately forgot. Yeah. How did you enable the 1.21 features without 1.21 trial chambers? Do you have a specific data pack that maybe you can share? I do, and it is available to use. Oh, it's on GitHub. Siren says thanks, no problem, no problem. I mean, I'm kind of curious though, because like 1.21's out now. Oh, don't tell me I got the wrong bit. No, that's the new bit there, so we're ripping out here and back. Which means this bit here would get filled in, technically. Let's not do too much more just yet. You don't want the chambers, which is why you're asking. Okay, so if you're in 1.21, I don't think that data pack will work for you because it's not for 1.21. It's a 1.20 data pack. If you don't want trial chambers, you're going to have to create a data pack that changes your world generation, I believe. But yeah, if you use that data pack in 1.21, I don't think you're going to get anywhere with it. In fact, it's probably not even released for 1.21. It's probably just released for 1.20. That would make the most sense, right? Like, it is literally for 1.20. Okay, let's get a bit more of that stuff. Right, and that is now ready to do its thing there. The title of this song is so epic. What one are we listening to? I can't even see it on the screen. Oh, you want to turn back to 1.20 user data pack. If your world's already been in 1.21, changing it back to 1.20 will be completely unsupported. So you are very in fact, I can tell you now that's probably going to be disastrous because of all the back-end changes they made. Like, it's a bad idea anyway, but like changing it back after you've already gone into 1.21, you're probably going to break tons of stuff. X, how do you deal with anxiety and stress? Oh, what a great question. What a great question. I mean, you got to pay attention to how you're feeling a lot of the time, right? That's the key thing, really, is that stress creeps up on you, so does anxiety. Got to be mindful, you got to be present. You know, you got to listen to yourself, and when you're feeling that way, you got to sit with those uncomfortable feelings, but then you need to have a way of dealing with it. And for me, it's about kind of reminding myself of, like, I don't know what the right word for this might be, but like axioms or principles, or like I've got a bunch of them written down, like these ideas that really resonate with me, that I think are useful strategies for you know, thinking about and looking at when you're feeling a little anxious or overwhelmed or stressed out. So like, comparison is the thief of joy is a really great one, because sometimes you get caught up in this loop of like looking at someone else or imagining something else and thinking there's something wrong with you because they're different, and that's a really unhelpful way of thinking. And it reminds me to anchor myself in myself and what interests me, and not to get caught up by the noise that other people make. Like, not that they're making noise intentionally, just that that's the way my brain works, right? So I got a bunch of things like that written down, and I will go to those things. Count your blessings is another one. When you're feeling a little stressed out, anxious, remind yourself of things that have gone well and things that are good, and don't dwell on what's stressing you out in this moment in time. You're literally doing an assignment on stress right now. All right. Sometimes with stress, you just need to slow down whatever you're doing and breathe a little and give yourself a break, you know? Remind yourself you're only human. What encouraged me to start a YouTube channel and upload and stream? When I started my channel, like, it was such a different landscape. It really was. It was a different vibe. It wasn't something that loads of people wanted to do like it is today. And I wanted to make Minecraft videos, I guess, because I was watching other people make them, and I thought it was cool. But one of the things that really spurred me on was that like, there were some basic things that were really apparent to me that other people weren't doing. Like, don't record at night. Don't mumble about stuff that like people haven't tuned in for. Because I used to like watch tutorials. I still do today. And it's not a great way to start a video by talking about a bunch of stuff that's unrelated to the video. Like, hey, you know, sorry I haven't uploaded in 3 weeks. So it's like, I don't know who you are. I'm just searching for your tutorial. So anyway, you know, I looked at some of those things and I thought, right, how would I do a good job at this? And I decided to do this layer by layer explanation of a build, because I wasn't going to talk. I was just going to show and put text on the screen, and it took off. People liked it. So it was just like a happy little thing that I did for fun. You know, no one was thinking YouTuber was a job or a career or anything back then. So it was really nice to like kind of get in at the beginning and see the whole thing evolve over time, I guess. I do think though today, if you're not an old head in the YouTube game, like you're gonna learn some hard lessons because the game is so competitive today. It really is. It's a job now, says Dill. Yeah, have you... I don't know what you've been consuming, but like, I think being a YouTuber as a job and a career has been generally well recognized now for at least the last 5 years. And I think the pandemic probably really elevated it because so many people were locked inside watching YouTube videos, and then it just kind of elevated everything a little bit. Accelerated, maybe. A Wash Raindrop, thank you for 2 months of support with the old Amazon Prime. Thank you for using that on me. Peeps, if you did not know, if you got Amazon Prime, you can use it to subscribe. Hi X and everyone, how's your week been? I've been in London for a Travis Scott concert. I was right at the front in the mosh pit, so it was absolutely crazy. Awesome, my dude. I wouldn't mind seeing Travis Scott live. I'm kind of at like a point now where I don't really go out to gigs on my own as much anymore, and my friends just aren't into like seeing someone like Travis Scott, so I probably won't get around to it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Alpacapaka, thank you ever so much for the Prime. Appreciate you using it on me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I probably butchered your name, but you know. Did I watch the podcast with Doc? No, I haven't watched that one yet. I had a couple of other ones to get through. But I will get around to it. I do enjoy the Imp and Skiz podcast very much. Also, they've been chatting with Spotify. I was like, wow, congratulations! I love it. Like, it's so cool to see a couple of people you know like step into that space and do wonderful things with it. You were lucky enough to have some mates to go with. It was a lot of fun. He knows how to work the crowd. That comment was probably like completely innocent, but such poor taste for what I was thinking about. I was thinking, oh, what about all that stuff with him and crowds, right? But then I was like, that was a while ago. I can't really remember. Like, oh, let's move on to the next thing. But no, now I guess we'll talk about it. So, like, he got into some controversy over the way he was interacting with a crowd, and people were really criticizing him. And what I remember thinking is that, like, when you're young and you're playing to, like, that many people, that's got to be a trip. That's got to be a head trip. So, like, I think there's a degree of slack and, like, a learning curve to, like, the responsibility that you have. But then he kind of went through one disaster and then had another one, and it sort of seemed like he hadn't learned anything. You know, I'm kind of wishing the guy takes responsibility for what happened and learns from it, and this stuff doesn't happen again. And I don't know if that's happened at all. Like, I haven't followed the story really since. But, you know, there was a lot of outcry against him a few years ago for it. And I don't quite know where that's at now. But yeah, I just mentioning he knows how to work a crowd. It was just like, oh, that is not the right comment for what I was thinking. I'm going to switch back to standing. My bum is getting numb, you know. Haha. Yeah, I think it were the venue booking so many standing places, but he has mad comments on it and reduced the standing places nowadays. Right. I mean, like, I'm hoping he's made a change, right? I'm very much like, I'm not into this kind of like cancelled, you're a scumbag, now we can't listen to you kind of response to things like that when they happen. It's more, I see it more as like, this is an opportunity to teach, learn, and grow for anyone who's paying attention. But maybe most importantly, you know, the artist on the stage, right? Like, put yourself in their shoes. It must be crazy to get up on a stage play your songs and have people go wild to it. I've been on the other end of that. I've been in the crowd. Like, it's wild to be in the crowd. So I can understand that in those situations you make bad decisions, right? It's about how you grow from making a bad decision. I don't think you should just be condemned, right? But it seemed like there wasn't any signs of growth at first. I don't know if that's changed. Depends on the situation. Well, you can always dream up a even crazier situation where you're like, well, maybe you shouldn't even have to learn this, sure. But in terms of like crowd control and being an artist on the stage, I can understand. I don't think musicians get put through a course on how to like handle a crowd, right? Like I don't think that's in the law or anything. Sounds like a good idea, but it's not like you go to school for being a musician or something and having to deal with those crazy situations. Excuse me, I'm gonna hydrate. Unique Jen says if it's multiple times, then we should have a massive issue, not only to the artist but the venue as well. Yeah, and I think it did happen multiple times for him, right? The venues are partially to blame, but the way I remember it being presented, it's like he's caught on video sort of really throwing all the concerns to the side. And wasn't there like an ambulance in the crowd and he like points it out but then just keeps going? Rushing away, we're talking about Travis Scott, who got into controversy over people. I think someone died at one of his shows, but like a lot of blame was aimed at him. Yeah, you know, venues are responsible as well. I remember Limp Bizkit got in a lot of trouble over Woodstock 99, and that one was different. It seemed like they were kind of like a scapegoat for the poor venue management. Like there was a lot of problems with the people running it. Wasn't it like 10 people? Oh my god. Yeah, you know, if like people dying at your show doesn't wake you up and make you change your behavior on stage, like that's concerning. That really is. Controversy is a currency on which some people dine. They want it, others are smarter. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you know, I wouldn't like to speculate that I know that this person wants that controversy or is thinking like this will help me sell records or whatever. I wouldn't speculate that. 25 hospitalized, 300 with minor injuries. What happened at Woodstock 99? A lot of bad stuff. If you go look into it, like there was all sorts of essay and destruction, fires, people getting hurt, riots. There was a lot of bad stuff that went down. Limp Bizkit didn't get in trouble for Woodstock. The venue did. The band got the bad press, but that's it. Also, like, are you saying like behind the scenes the people that ran it got fined? Because in the public eye they were like vilified for it? Huh. You know, I wasn't really, I've only been like aware of it retrospectively because growing up, like I think my first exposure to it was like Napster. Because on Napster you could start to download like concert videos and it was like, what? And then you learn that like a couple of years ago, I wasn't even aware it was going on, you know, this stuff was all new to me. Like this is from a time when you didn't have like a device in your pocket that just tells you everything that's going on in the world all the time, right? So like having access to the internet was the first time to start looking at some of this stuff, and it was like you could go on Napster and like download music videos as well as MP3s, and like some of them were like Limp Bizkit at Woodstock, and I was like, what? And then, you know, Metallica played there and Korn, and these are just some iconic shows now. And then later on I learned about all the controversy that was there as well, because at first it was like, oh, I wish I could have gone, but then once you know what it was like to go there, it's like, well, you would have had to put up with a bunch of other stuff as well. But hey, for anyone out there who like loves a good crowd, go watch Korn playing Blind at Woodstock 99, and I swear you will never see anything like it. It is a sea of people as far as you can see. There's like 500,000 people just going ape, going up and down to it, and it is just mind-blowing crowd. This is before they started introducing all the separation barriers and like crowd control measures. It was just, people were just rammed in there. It was crazy. I experienced a little bit of that at my first download festival, when I think Soulfly were playing, and like all of a sudden, like I'm down there jumping at the front, jumping up and down, loving it, head banging, and then all of a sudden, like, you're leaning sideways and there's just, you're absolutely squashed between two people, and you're like, when I say sideways, I mean like a 45-degree angle. You've just tilted, and it's like, oh my god, what? I'm not in control. And then all of a sudden it sways and you start tilting the other direction. And now you're leaning 45 degrees in the other, and it's like, it's scary. It's like, I'm not in control of this. What the heck? And there's been worse ones than that. I mean, that was just a mild bit of, you know, crowd squashing or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's definitely, it's a really weird experience, because you can probably imagine what it's like, but when you're in it, you just lack of control, where you're like, oh, I'm just like a sardine in a can now. Love him or hate him, the crowd at Robbie Williams' Nebworth shows were mind-blowing as well. Oh, imagine so. Imagine so. Yeah, Robbie Williams is classic. If you're a Brit, he never broke out in America, right? He never cracked that audience. Just for some reason didn't hit with them. Whereas if you're British, like Robbie Williams was just hit after hit after hit. Have I seen the new air safety video made... Sorry, the new safety video made by Air India? No, I haven't seen that. Funny enough. Gummy Bear 600, thank you for tuning in and subscribing. Much appreciated. Hope you're having a good Saturday. He's massive all over Europe, says Diddy. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Scary, you need to be ready to kick people in case you need to get to higher ground over the crowd, says Daredevil. I mean, that's not what I was thinking. And I don't know why you'd think you need to kick people. That's really weird. But no, I was not thinking about hurting other people in that situation. It was just, you become out of control. Like, but when I say out of control, I mean, you have no control. Like, all your limbs are squashed because the person behind you, front of you, either side of you, all of a sudden you are just squished. And it's wild. I've probably been in a few more over the years because I've did so much gigging, but like that first one was really kind of like, whoa, didn't expect that. I mean, people will tell you before you go to a gig, they'll be like, oh, be careful and watch out for this thing and that thing, and then you go, and then you're like, oh, now I understand. Crowd control is something tricky during concerts. Too much and you kill the buzz people are looking for. Not enough control and it gets out of hand like Woodstock. Yeah, however, I'd say like the bit about the buzz, I don't think you need, like, if you go to a show, the atmosphere is always more electric down the front. That's true. But I don't think that's necessarily caused by, you know, the amount of people. It's just the people that care the most tend to go to the front and stuff, and so you're going to have more enthusiasm. But like, you can safely stagger crowds, right? Soundwave Hope says, I prefer seated concerts. I totally get the appeal of standing, but I'm more comfortable in a controlled environment. Yeah, sure. I've been to some gigs that were just all seated, and they're fine. Like, I'm there for the music at the end of the day, and I can have a good time sitting down or standing. But definitely, like, going into the mosh pit and being at the front in the crush can be, like, incredible too. It's just not necessary. Bear says, hello gamers, I return. Welcome back, Bear. Welcome back. Bushboy16112011, thank you for your Prime subscription, my dude. Much appreciated. Hope you're entertained, enjoying what we're up to here. Hey Xisuma, what happened to Salem? Oh, Salem, that I talk about all the time. Actually, you're... Now I know what you're talking about. I named a cat Salem. I don't know. This is funny because I never do stuff like that. It's just not me, and people ask, "Oh, why don't you have any pets in Minecraft?" You know, I think I should just not bother because I got a pet, renamed it, and then forgot about it. And it came from here, didn't it? Now it all makes sense. Here I am thinking, oh, just talking about some random thing I don't know about. Goes to show, doesn't it? It goes to show. I'm not a pets person in Minecraft. I can't even remember the name of a pet when I get one. KCMO says, mosh pits in the States usually don't go well, people get hurt. I don't know if you can really say that, like, if there's a particular, like, I could get it if you said, like, a particular scene, because different music attracts different type of mosh pits, but I don't think there's a culture problem with America and their mosh pits. I've never heard that sort of like comment before. Like I watched this band called Waking the Cadaver, and the singer was a bit of a scumbag who was like encouraging people to hit each other, and a guy ran at me with his arms swinging and headbutted me, and he fell on the floor and collapsed. And like, it happened so quick, and I was just like, what the heck? Yeah, but this was like a show where they have hardcore dancing, right? So there's moshing and then there's hardcore dancing. You might get confused between the two. They're two different things. They tend to go with different types of music, and the hardcore dancing can be really dangerous because people are swinging their limbs violently. And you know, if you don't know what it is and you go near it, you might get hurt, because people are like swinging their limbs, but they're also quite aware and they like dodge each other. So like, if you watch videos of mosh pits with hardcore dancers, one thing to pick up on is that like they're also dodging the other people that are swinging their arms and legs, and it's usually the more innocent bystanders that get hurt in that stuff, or someone like wandering through not knowing what's going on. I mean, that was my introduction to it. I was like, whoa, what's this? This type of moshing's really different. And then I ran in there and got smacked in the face like 3 times in a row. And then I was like, okay, what the heck? But yeah, why did we start talking about hardcore dancers? Anyway, like dangerous mosh pits, hardcore dancers. Oh yeah, the Waking the Cadaver show. So, like, some bands are in a competition to be the most brutal, the most, right? And this was one of those bands. And so like this guy is on there, he's going, you know, I want to see hardcore dancing and all of this. And he's like, I want people to get hurt. And then he's like, no, I really mean it. Like, if you see someone who's not moshing, you go at them. He was saying stuff like that. And so like, when he said that, that's when I like turned to the side and realized someone was charging me. And then they just like whacked into me and fell over and collapsed on the floor. And I came off basically unscathed. Like the way they collided with me, they took all the hurt. It was really weird. And yeah, at the time it was kind of like edgy and, oh, this band is so unhinged, man. You know, like you just got those silly ways of looking at stuff in your head. But now I look back at it and it's like, yeah, this is just not on for someone on stage to command people to hurt other people. Like, it's not cool. You know, doesn't show a lot of respect for his own audience members. So, yeah, I look at that stuff very differently now. At the time, it was a bit more like, oh, that was fun or whatever. Because I was just, I don't know, an Egypt, whatever you want to call me. Incitement to violence is also a crime. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess it is. Depends what country you're in, I imagine, like for the specifics. Olim88, thank you for using your Amazon Prime subscription on me. Thank you so much, my dude. Thanks for supporting the channel and all we do here. I hope you're enjoying. Can I hold tab to see who's on? Iskow and Zed and XB Crafted are on right now. Hey, look, we're almost done with this. How big are you? I'm 6'3", so you know that I got that going for me on that front, I guess. I don't remember if this person was smaller than me or not, but maybe that's why. You know, because they just kind of ran at me arms swinging. I don't think they were thinking about what they were doing, and then they were just on the floor. KCMO says, that's crazy. Maybe just to see just who over choose to see. Slipknot, Korn, ICP, early 2000s, it was a madhouse. Yeah, I love all that stuff from back then. Do I play horror games? Not specifically, I guess. We were all a bit ignorant to stupid when we were kids, says Bert. Yeah, it's so true, yeah. You grow, you mature. That's just life. But it's just interesting sometimes how the events, they almost like change in your mind what you think about them. Because that was just a funny story for a long time. It was like, that clown that got flattened or whatever. But then you look back at it now and it's like, this is really pointless behavior. Like, all that could have come out of this was someone getting hurt. For what? Because we're playing brutal music. Just, sure. Not worth it. Society changed also, says Mystical Maid. Society changes, yeah. Young people are always going to do more risky, edgy stuff. They're just going to be attracted to it. It's natural. But in the case of, like, moshing, I think moshing's always going to be a bit more of a dangerous activity. It's a bit, like, I haven't been near a mosh pit in a while because I haven't been to gigs and stuff, but it's hard to imagine a mosh pit not being a mosh pit, if that makes sense. Right, I'm just saving my replay, by the way. I might do a little render on screen quickly. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's go in here. There it is. I should probably log out with the other account. Yeah, and then what are we going to do? This doesn't need to be a fancy thing because it's going to probably be a really brief clip. So we destroyed about that much there. I think I'll do a static cam one here. Let's go. 30 seconds tends to be good, but I'll go for 40. And then put in these. So 60 seconds, 38 was where we ended. And, you know, I probably shouldn't have done this on camera because it's a boring one. Like, if I get around to this, I'm just going to show it a bit, you know? Like, oh, and by the way, I did this. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I disagree. I'm old, but when I was stupid, punk, teenager, we looked out for each other in the pit. But then again, it was called skanking back then, not moshing. Yeah, that's the other thing about moshing is that there is a culture of looking out for one another. And I didn't get around to mentioning that because I've just been talking about this bad example. But posh pit sounds nice. But yeah, no, like a lot of mosh pits that I participated in, people look out for each other. I'm someone that does that. Like, as soon as someone's on the floor, you stop what you're doing, you help them up. If you see someone who's like hurt in a way, you help them get out. If people want to get out, you let them out of the pit, right? Like, it can be really positive. But it's not always guaranteed to be like that. I remember going into a job for a cowboy pit and just coming out really quickly because for some reason everyone was throwing fists and like it was a really violent pit. And then I've been in other ones. Like I went into a Linkin Park pit once and I stopped moshing pretty quickly because it was like I just realized it was all these like teenagers bopping up and down and like barely moshing, just sort of jumping together kind of thing. So like you gotta like read the room a little bit, you know? You gotta read the room. Yes, I got to see Linkin Park. I don't get jealousy and envy. Like you should be happy for someone else when they enjoy, do something, whatever that you're into too. Like if you tell me you saw Metallica in 1989 in Seattle or whatever, I'll be like, that is awesome. I wish I could have been there. I hate ninja moshers, says Modano. Why are we watching this? I don't need to leave that on the screen anymore. What are ninja moshers? Are you referring to the hardcore dancers? Oh, Matcha, thank you for the very nice message there. I saw Cliff Richard. Does that count? Only if you got in the pit. In fact, if you got in a Cliff Richard pit, I have immense respect for you. Oh, I don't even know. There's an artist who's probably never had a single mosher. Old Cliff Richard. All right, we got to take out some more blocks now, which might prove to be a little bit of a pain. We'll see. Oh my god, I'm filled up again. Dude, that should be a really bad Phil Collins comeback record. Filled up. Oh. Got a cheeky grin on the front cover. Okay, that'll do. He does. It's just 50-year-old women moshing. Maybe ninja moshers throw shuriken and smoke bombs. I tell you what, I've never seen. I've never seen weapons in a mosh pit. But now you're making me think about it. I've never seen something like that. I remember Enter Shikari used to like have really creative stuff going on in the mosh pit. Like people would form pyramids and do like acrobatic stuff and just like, I don't know why it started or how. I think they encouraged it, but like you'd go to their shows and there'd be hardcore dancers, there'd be moshers, and then there would be these pyramids. Like people would just start making a pyramid, like a human pyramid. It was crazy. I remember when I saw Shikari playing their first show at Download Festival. There was this girl who she had like a Pokemon bag on her back. I remember it looked really bad because all of a sudden like 4 of these like lads were like holding her, you know, like when they carry a coffin. It was like that. She was just like passed out on top of these, like I think there were like 6 of them maybe, like these lads who were like carrying her out of there, and it was really grim. And this was like not long after they'd done their human pyramid thing. All of a sudden this like girl with the Pokemon bag was getting like escorted. Again, not escorted, like carried out like on shoulders. Like something had happened to them that was clearly bad enough for them to get like carried out. Yeah, that was wild. Anyway, who in chat was going on about ninja moshers? What I want to know what the ninja moshers are. They got to be hardcore dancers, right? Brum PC says 1146 levels. How? I'm glad you asked, Brum. Oh, I'm so excited to tell everyone. Oh, you're not going to believe this. Oh, I got all the way up to 1145 and then I went for another level. I got enough. That's how I got to 1146. I got to 1145 first. Oh my god. Oh my god. At least she was carried out and not left in there. Yeah, no, Enter Shikari will foster like a good attitude. It's like another horrific mosh pit injury at Enter Shikari. Some lad in front of me had his ankle just dangling off the edge of his limb, like his foot was just barely attached on, and it was like, oh, let's get you out of here. Just, oh, that made me shudder though. I remember like as I sort of said, like, you know, I can't remember what I said, but something along the lines of like, oh, I hope you get better and all that kind of stuff, you know. But I remember looking at their foot as I walked away and I was like, oh my god, like that could happen to me. Yeah, I like that was further towards the end of my moshing days, so seeing things like that will put you off. Like I probably won't ever go in a mosh pit again. Pit ninja, someone, usually male and in their teens to mid-20s, who attend a show such as Amur, Bring Me the Horizon, Whitechapel, and will throw dangerous high kicks and punches. Yes, I've seen this. Nobody knows why they can stick to good old moshing, but for some reason they prefer to risk kicking people in the face and being a pit ninja. Dude, I saw that at shows. I saw that at Bring Me the Horizon. You've totally reminded me. I've seen that ninja kicking, and it is like, what are you doing? This is wild. Yeah, and they're like the sort of people that dart off back into the crowd, into like a group of mates who are all like egging them on. I've seen that happen. The show I was talking about earlier, where I first saw hardcore dancing, that was Bring Me the Horizon at Download 2006, and I definitely saw people ninja kicking in that pit. That was why it was so wild. It was like the pit was massive. It was like this big open space, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" You know, I've been in some mosh pits, but like, what's going on here? And then there's like kids like running across and doing ninja kicks. Oh my god. Sounds so toxic, says Creeper Hunter. I guess it was, unless you feel like you're in on the joke, then you're not going to see it that way. I didn't feel like I was in on the joke. It was just like, what is going on here? What is going on? 20. Thank you ever so much for resubscribing. 3 months. Appreciate you, my dude. 3 months. Thank you so much. Instigators. Yeah, definitely instigators. Yeah, I've seen some wild stuff in the pits, but I'm another one actually popped into my head that I was gonna comment on. What was it? All these wild things that I've seen. We were talking about Enter Shikari doing like pyramids, human pyramids. It was done the Wall of Death and all that kind of stuff. There's like one other crazy story I was thinking of, but it's kind of left me now. You fell and got trampled on in an Enter Shikari mosh pit. Luckily got helped up quickly, no injuries. That's good, yeah. Yeah, Enter Shikari's pretty much always going to be a good vibe, right? Some bands sort of attract like negative vibes in the pit and stuff. I stay clear from the mosh pit. Some people are super happy hurting you badly. Yeah, there's always some scumbags that use it as an excuse to hurt people. That's sad. If you do go in the pit, I think my main bit of advice is like, you need a good sense of balance and keep your like legs and limbs close to your body. Like tuck your arms in when you mosh. Because I've seen it happen to other people, and it's almost happened to me a couple of times, but it's easy for like an outstretched arm to get caught between two people, and you don't want to go through that. So like, have a good sense of balance, stay on your feet, keep your like, you know, your fists under your elbows, like tuck your arms in so you're like bruising shoulders, and yeah, just have your wits about you. Like, have a good time, but like, be attentive as to what's going on around you. My mate who I used to mosh with, I'm pretty sure was like just so into the music they were not paying attention. They would get like wiped out a lot in the pit. You just see them on the floor and like have to go pick them up. Why was the last Hermitcraft season so short, or was that just on Mumbo's end? Yeah, do you mean season 9, the longest season of Hermitcraft we've ever had? Yeah, that one was really short, I agree. That was a short season, that longest one that we've ever done. Only 2.5 years? I don't think it was 2.5, but it was approaching 2. Tucking your arms is the best advice ever. I got careless in my last mosh pit quite a few years ago, caught a shoulder under the armpit and got flung. 2 broken ribs and a dislocated shoulder. I can't lift my arm up all the way 10 years later. Oh, dude, that sucks. That's the price though, right? You know, when you're young, you're far less risk averse. The most I got hurt was a cracked rib at Slayer. And that's kind of it, I think. It's weird though, I look back on it and I think about like all the working out that I do today and getting injured doing some stuff like that from time to time. And it's like, in my 20s, it was like I was immortal. Why wasn't I into like weightlifting then? Instead I was flinging my body around in a mosh pit just getting bashed up. Oh well. But yeah, that sucks, man. That sucks. I forgot to fill in the other one, did I? Oh yeah, there's one back there. In fact, there's one that we shouldn't fill in, and it's that one there. Okay, we missed one. We'll go back and grab that. We can do that. Thanks for pointing it out. Wait till you're approaching 50, says Mystical Maid. Hey, I'll get up there. But, like, I want to keep myself physically fit for as long as I can. I mean, like, my plan is just, like, to always keep my fitness level at a raised level for my age. When I say raised, though, it's like, the thing with fitness, I always imagine it like a curve on a graph. It's like, wherever you're at, unless you're like a peak athlete, you can probably do things and change your lifestyle to push it up a bit more. Now, when you're in your like 20s and 30s, you can push it up a lot, right? Like, you know, you can run fast, you can cycle for long, you can lift heavy weights, and then as you get older, that's gonna come down. But like, there's always gonna, unless, like, if you're like 40, 50, 60, and you're just sort of living an average lifestyle, exercise will elevate your health. It will, you know, push you up on that chart. There's a higher level that you can reach. I always want to be in a higher level, I guess, that doesn't take up a crazy amount of time. I love exercising for a couple of hours every day. That works so well for me. I just want to continue to be able to do that at the relative, like, proportion for age, right? So maybe in 10, 20 years, it means I exercise 1 hour a day. Maybe when I'm in my like 70s, I exercise for 30 minutes a day. But like, you keep that like relativity there. That's what I want to do with my like my health journey through my life. It's just be at that elevated state. I don't want to be, you know, have a sedated lifestyle or anything. I want to be active. I want to be moving around. I don't want to do a lot of it. Your dad is in his 60s and he does swimming to keep fit. That's awesome. That's awesome. And, you know, it'll lengthen your lifespan, right? I heard this joke the other day, which I wasn't sure if the person was like joking or not, but like saying, for the amount of time that you exercise, right? Some people have added up this kind of like statistic of an hour a day gives you like 3 extra days of life a year or something, right? So like if you exercise all your life, you get like a couple weeks extra time, but then you spent all this time exercising. And they like missed like what I thought was almost the more important thing, is that like exercise and being fit elevates the quality of your life massively. You know, you just feel more capable, upright, you know, energy levels are up. You get all of that as well, so that's why I'm like dedicated to it, I guess. Keep yourself energized and enthusiastic. You find it super impressive how I managed to be so active in your life despite being a Minecraft full-timer. Well, being a Minecraft full-timer doesn't mean I play Minecraft with all of my time, right? Like, my morning today consisted of doing a few chores around the house, which I like. I like doing stuff where you're moving about. I don't like being at the computer for too long. But then I went for like a really long walk, and I had a little workout. I'm injured at the moment, so I can't do full ones. And then I'm going to go cycle to the shops and do some shopping in a bit. So like, my whole day isn't playing Minecraft. I mean, I'll be on the computer for quite a few hours doing it, but when I'm not, I'm like moving about if I can. You mean it's good for you, question mark, says Casey Mo Angel? Yeah. It makes you feel good. Like, exercise will pump your brain will give those signals out to your body, and your body will pump you full of feel-good chemicals, right? Like natural ones. So it is like a drug in a way, you know? If I don't exercise for a few days, I just feel myself getting moody and cloudy in my mind, and that was once normal for me. And now that it's not, I can't go back to being that way. My grandfather swam in the sea every day all his life. He's in his 90s now and still swimming. It definitely contributed to his good health. That is awesome too, yeah. That is wonderful. The way you Hermitcraft also keeps brain functioning at high levels with all the redstoning and also the creative side if you're a builder. I agree, actually. Yeah, I agree there's a degree of that. what I'm experiencing, I think, just at this stage in life for me is like noticing recently some of my mental faculties are declining, only a little bit, but like it's noticeable. Especially memory. Memory's been a bit of a tricky one recently. And it's concerning, but I've realized that like I spend a fair bit of time like focused and dedicated on something, and it's Hermitcraft, right? So like when I do redstone, it really feels like my brain's firing up a bit, and when I'm doing creative stuff, I can get really focused and stuck in with it. What I don't have is something like that that benefits the world. You know, like I sometimes wish I was building a product or researching something or working on a team towards something bigger, you know, towards something that like has a tangible impact on the world. And when I think about it in that capacity, I kind of feel like I could be doing more in my brain, you know? Like this brain could be capable of more, but I don't have anything to focus on it. So I'm just kind of doing this redstone and building stuff, and it's fun and it entertains me and it's rewarding, but like I do wonder if there was something more, I don't know, maybe academic might be the right word, right? Like something more studied or beneficial that I would like to do in my time, but I never have an idea of my own that it makes sense to pursue, and I honestly don't know if this skill set would like really translate into anything. I think you're underestimating how much Hermitcraft has an impact. I totally get that. I am not. I'm very aware how meaningful Hermitcraft is to a lot of people. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to have that and to have done that. I think it's like one thing for like emotional entertainment support and that kind of level of stuff, but I think my mind like hungers for problem solving that then has a tangible effect in the real world, like figuring out, I don't know, some stuff that improves some boring things in the world some way. Like there are like unsung heroes that have improved your lives immeasurably that we just take for granted, like the toilet and the sewer system, right? If we didn't have those things, my god, you would just be like, if you lived your life without the sewer system, you know, and fresh water coming to your house and a toilet in your house, and then all of a sudden it turned up overnight, you'd be like, who did this? Give that man a medal or lady, you know, give them a medal. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so I kind of feel like I would get some gratification from being involved. Like if the redstone projects that we were doing here was helping like real world logistics or systems or something out there, that would be really gratifying, I think, to know that this like problem solving and stuff that I get a taste of in games, like puzzle games and redstone, like if that then affected stuff in the world that could like improve the quality of stuff somewhere, that would be awesome. Look into engineering, says KCMO. Yeah, here's the thing, like I'm saying all this, the problem for me is like time management doesn't give me like a space to go into at all. Like I haven't found like a spark or a direction where I then start to look into it or go down a path, if this makes any sense. Because like if I started looking into engineering, I don't get a sense that like that's going to lead to somewhere. I get maybe I've got the wrong attitude by hoping that I'll just see something that makes sense one day. Maybe you do have to put in like lots of time exploring dead ends. I guess maybe that's the bit of the equation that I don't want to do, right? Maybe I'm deluding myself a little bit there, but I guess my hope is that one day I see something and it's like, oh wait, I can do that, and then go get stuck in. Whereas engineering, it just I've seen like what engineers are doing, and it's like some high level stuff. Have you ever considered educating young people on how redstone works in Minecraft? You might spark their mechanical engineering interest. I like that. I like that. I like what you just said. Yeah, and I have I'll happily explain redstone to other people, and in my videos I tried to do that. So There is a level of that. I love that idea though, that maybe someone out there is doing some cool stuff and, you know, they learned redstone and then they decided to take that to something else. That's a nice idea. But yeah, I hope I do try to like show off my redstone in my videos and streams in ways that like help other people understand it. So if that means someone else out there is now doing some good with that, well, that makes me happy. It's all about risk and reward. If you can't see the reward and only risk, then it's hard to commit. But I thought you were going to say something slightly different then. I thought you were going to say like you have to do the risk, right? But no, I think you've really got it on the you've expressed it elegantly there. I can't see a reward path, right? Like I can't see, yes, this thing will lead somewhere else. I can kind of get the idea, all right, if I dedicate myself to learning engineering, I might become somewhat useful somewhere at some point in time. But with such little time to dedicate to stuff because of other commitments, it's really hard to choose that unless you see. So if I see something that's like, hey, wait a minute, if I put this amount of time into that, we can make this happen. That's really encouraging and rewarding, right? Because you're like, oh, I can see a path here. And then you accept the risk, like, and it might not work out. But I will know the path that I'm walking down. I will know the destination I'm trying to reach. And at the moment, it's like, as much as I dream about being able to do something cool or building something that goes out into the world and is tangible, I have no idea what that thing is, right? Like, so how the heck can I start? Arguably, content like Hermitcraft makes me feel happier while working from home. It makes me want to create and do stuff which positively affects my ability to work for an energy grid provider. You have impact, it matters. Humble Zebra, thank you for saying that. And thank you for working on the energy grid. Another thing we take for advantage. Like, let's get a round of applause for Zebra in chat. I mean, none of you are watching this right now with electricity, okay? All right, who runs that energy grid? You know, you just turn on the switch and you don't even think about it. It's a miracle. It's a literal miracle that we just have all of this technology and energy and stuff. Rogeekaku, thank you ever so much for the Prime subscription, and Astellian's here for 68. Almost at the silly 69. Sorry for being absent. Thanks for all the content. Hey, no need to apologize. Glad to have you with us today, SD, and appreciate all you do. There you go, round of applause from people on their electronically powered devices. I mean, you literally made that round of applause happen in a roundabout way. But yeah, this is what I'm getting at. Like, so I've experienced having, you know, a kind of like an emotional level impact on people, and that's amazing. I also, and I'll be happy to continue doing that, by the way. Like, I am in no way saying I am tired of this or anything. Like, it's a blessing, but I had this just drive in me, this like part of my mind that imagines and wonders like what it could be like. And it's always like, I think I listen to a lot of podcasts with entrepreneurs, and I love this just idea of being able to like take an idea and take it out into the world and like have it impact the quality of people's lives. And even if it's in like subtle ways that they don't realize about, like I was saying, you know, like you come up with something that increases the efficiency on the energy grid by 20% or whatever, and it's like no one cares, but it makes a difference in a way. That really appeals to me. But that's all it is. It's just an appeal. I have no idea on what the thing I could do could even be. On occasion in the past, I've had like an idea for like an app that I thought would be useful, but never really. I can't even remember what some of them were. They seemed useful at the time, but if I can't remember, they probably weren't. But like maybe next time I have an idea like that, it might be worth thinking about it for a little bit longer. You don't understand how much the 20% is? Yeah, I do actually. Like 20% is probably massive, right? But like probably bringing like 1 or 2% efficiencies to massively scaled systems could be a real big difference as well. Elisio, the Xisuma Says videos made you realize you need to get mental help for the mental health. I'm glad to hear it. I've read a lot of really moving comments like that on some of those videos, and It just makes me happy to know that they've been of help in some way, you know. I'm over here at a cancer researcher thinking I should have been a Minecraft YouTuber, so I guess the grass is always greener. Absolutely, absolutely. That's like the quotes I was talking about earlier. The grass is greener on the other side. That's another one of them, right? That's why I think it's really important to like revolve your sort of sense of who you are and like what you're doing from yourself. You have to find it in yourself, because it's so easy to just like, especially if you use like social media, you know, you flick through Instagram, when you just see other people doing great stuff, it just makes you feel like you're not doing enough sometimes, and that can be incorrect. Like, it shouldn't be about what other people are doing. It should be about you to yourself. Those are the things that count. I just realized I brought all of this over here, but actually some of it belongs somewhere else. Actually, what am I doing? Okay, right. Multitasking can be tricky sometimes, so let's now just put all of this stuff away, because that's why it's here in the inventory like this. And can you believe it? Now some of these supplies that I've built up, we're going to run out of places to put them. I don't have to keep every single redstone component in here. The idea is that like overflow goes into here, so I can just, you know, it's one redstone torch. Some people might have just thrown that on the floor. Kitty Gaming! Oh, where did I leave that one? I left it over there. I'm still in uni, but I do a lot of ICT work for firms as part-time work. I did some work for YouTubers when I was younger, making maps and doing redstone designs. I got into this by watching people like UX. What I study at a tertiary, isn't it? Tertiary level has nothing to do with what I am doing for paid work. However, I find it works because I was given an opportunity to explore my technical side through Minecraft when I was younger. I do a lot of important work that makes me happy, thanks to you. That's lovely to hear. I appreciate you sharing that. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh man, you're making me think of the good old Plot World days where I used to be hanging out on the server doing redstone with people like Fenneman and stuff. Yeah, I love that idea of being able to inspire others. That's awesome to hear. Okay, I will throw the dirt on the ground, so that I will do. I'm a dirty Minecrafter, I'll throw my dirt away. Okay, so some of these blocks are actually going to come back because they need to be aged further. While they're in storage though, I will have the option to craft them into these stages with honey blocks if I want to. So they might get put back into the system, they might not, but the point is we're going to put them there ready for that. It almost looks like I could actually just run another cycle on the system now. I might actually do that. I think I might run another cycle after this stream. And then we can get... Oh, but I'm going to need a lot more wax before I do that. I've run out of wax, basically. Okay. Everything here, except that one, can probably stay. Oh, that's renamed. Okay. And then I've probably got room to be a little more efficient here. God, the sounds of shulker box is going to drive you mad, I tell you. Okay, so one shulker box back. And that one can clearly get split into two. Or just one. Alright, so that one comes back with us, and then we've got two more, that's fine. Okay, we need to go check on honey next. Honey, honey, honey. I love that Joel did that remix song. Look at this, it's slowly getting oxidized again. Hilarious. Not really. Hilarious! Oh my god. I am shocked. Right. There are 3 of them up here. Based on what we saw... What is going on here? When we opened the chest earlier, we saw like 3 or 4, maybe 5, 6 stacks tops, right? I re-enabled this a little while ago. Not that long ago, just a few days ago, right? I am shocked at how much that has reduced. Either this area gets loaded like a lot, or there is something fundamentally different about this farm, because I would not have guessed to have seen that much honeycomb from it. But if I think about it for a little bit longer, I can kind of see that this area, if it's just loaded, you know, Ren's right next door, so Ren's playing, this is loaded. Maybe I can see that happening, actually. I think I'm going to go get one more shulker box for it. Like pain research, bettering the quality of life seems more important than prolonging life. But in the end, you spend years looking for one little receptor that ends up doing nothing, says Benjamin. Oh, I see. So, like, wait, yeah, pain research. I was thinking life longevity research. Yeah, research can be tough, man. Sometimes you follow a false lead for a long time. I love that Joel turned Money, Money, Money into a honey song, despite ABBA literally having a song called Honey, Honey, Honey. Oh, did I... The original's called Honey. What the heck is wrong with me? Oh, dear. Me making a goose of myself on stream? What? Never? Huh? Xisuma? No, surely not. Well, I guess this means I can use the farm immediately because we've got a crazy amount of honeycomb from this bit over here. I guess that also means I will be lazy and not expand the honey farm as we need to right now. I will be lazy. Is that okay if I be lazy? By the way, the copper shop looks fire. Thank you, BMacD. Be sure to tune in for the next episode because we're going to have an even better build coming your way soon. At least I think it is. Mythical Moon says lazy is great. It's great, is it? How do you get a mod which works on older versions to work with newer ones? You need the mod developer to update it for the version you're playing on. You can't just force a mod to like play anyway, right? Like there might be one or two versions you can get away with it, like a minor update. Like 1.25 mods will probably work on 1.26, right? We love being lazy, says Eliezo Manova. Yeah, the path of least resistance, right? Busy Bees, Lazy X, yes. I was surprised though. I knew I would need some, so I re-enabled it, and honestly, I would have thought maybe like half a chest at best, but no. We got like a double chest and more. Okay, so this means that I can actually just jump straight back into using Goliath again. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up. We should probably do a bit of a test run here. We still actually have the camera account available to log in, so that's interesting. Now, I was going to rip out these, right? How much more of this stuff do I want around here? Is a good question. Okay, first of all, honey goes up here. Okay, and then we'll grab this. So, we've already got blocks in the system. A lot of those are probably going to be fully oxidized. Off the top of my head, I think we've probably got... I think we've probably got like a reasonable amount that would fill up a shulker box out there. I'm trying to like figure out how much I want in total coming through. I think we're going to go with one chest of each more. So I'll need that much honeycomb in for sure. Like at least two of these go in, but I might as well do it proper. Just put all of it in. So there's definitely enough honeycomb though, is what I'm getting at. It's Jenna, really. Thank you so much for 7 months of support. Much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream, having a good time and all of that. Thank you for tuning in. Right, now the next thing is to take out just... Oh, what happened here? Let's do that. We just want 1 chest's worth, so we'll come over here. We now want 3 more stacks from this thing. And another 3. And that thing is crafting. Should it be doing that? Oh yeah, I fed in some more of that. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so... one thing I could actually do, I've just realised, is take out this stuff because we basically want to craft all of this. Huh, I didn't think of that. Well, I did now. Why has that got nothing in when there's items in there? Is it draining all the way through? Did it just stop doing that? It just stopped doing that. Okay, that was weird. That was some interesting timing. I can put all of that in here. In fact, I could do it for the other side as well, right? No, wrong one. Ah! So I can put all of that in here, and then it'll start crafting it. Good. Put all of that up there. Ah, look at the item filter. It's blinking. Why is it blinking? It's blinking because of the rate at which stuff comes out down the bottom here. Huh. Wait, am I looking at that right? It does blink. It does blink. Okay, I think I can modify that. We need a modification. This explains why it gets backed up sometime, and I think it's quite easy to modify. Like, not in a pretty way, but we can modify it. So... we're going to take the same signal again. Also, I'd like to finish putting these blocks up here. Same signal again. And then a delay and a repeater. Well, the repeater is the delay. Nope, can't do that. Now you need like a pulse extender as well, I think. There's probably like a much easier way to do this that I'm just not thinking of. Probably like a comparator decay. In terms of having this in... there you go. There you go. I was going to say, in terms of having it in like a reasonable, compact amount of space, I'm probably not going to suss that out quickly. But it doesn't actually need to be that, does it? You can also make this thing decay slower with a block. But since it does the job like that, I think I'm going to let it fly. Now, didn't I add them on this side? No, I didn't. So do I need to really send them through again if I want them to come out at that level? I think the answer is no. So maybe I won't use this. Maybe I'll just, for now, get all of these blocks done. Because there's not going to be a lot left in the system after this, basically. That's it. Yeah, okay, so I'm not going to use the farm today because we already actually had loads of these. But next time I use it once I get more copper, it should be good. So, let's look at the item filters. They're both locked. So no more would be coming in while we've got them in the system, and that's what we wanted. It might have been a better idea to originally have this plugged into that one, but this will do just fine. Alright. Alright. Let's go... pick this thing up. I said I wanted a block. Is that right? Am I missing? I'm missing the redstone one because it's over there. I almost didn't silk touch that. Very nearly. Right, that'll just make it decay slower. Now we go over here. Let's check those. Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot. It feels like the other one got a lot more. Anyway, I've got some empty boxes here. I'm going to take it with me. That, my friends, is a wrap on Goliath. not going to run it after the farm. I'm going to go get more copper because we need another bunch of copper through here. But yeah. Awesome. We got so much of that wax stuff now to sell at different levels. It's awesome. Right. I said something about getting the camera account on here. That was for testing this thing, which we're not going to do because we're not going to use it. I'm going to wrap up my stream right here, peeps. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit the follow button if you want to catch future streams. Can't tell you when the next one will be, but sometime soon, I'm sure. Oh, right. There's both Iskal and Docker streaming. So you got choices. I'll send you over to Iskal. But, yeah, more Hermitcraft coming your way. That's it from me. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.